Hi everybody, and welcome back to my How to Grow channel. Hold on one moment. Alright, and this is a channel where I talk about my mental health, and hopefully this will help you guys out. So, with that being said, I know I haven't posted on here in quite some time. For that, I apologize. It's been kind of hard for me. And I had quite a bit of stuff going on from the first time I posted on here to now. So, I'm going to play a little bit of music, drink a little water. You guys want to go grab some snacks real quick? Or pause me real quick, whatever you got to do, grab some snacks. And we're going to get into it. And you might want to grab some tissues, because it's going to get kind of deep. Alright, and I am back. And where to go? Where to start at? So, last year, if I can wrap up 2018 in one word, it would be loss. It really challenged me mentally, and it really drained me and took a lot from me. I lost a lot of things. I lost a job. I lost where I was living at. I was homeless for some time. I almost lost my kids. I almost lost my car. And it really, my demons were really fucking with me at that time. And it was hard for me to even podcast on here. I don't think I really even did podcast too much. I may have did my Halloween show, and I think that's about it. I might have done a few here and there when I was living after I got into a place and I felt comfortable. But once again, that's about it. I didn't really do a lot. And that's because of my depression. And because of losing my job, I ended up where I had anxiety and depression. So not only I was sad, but I was anxious about shit. And I was anxious to the point where I would get anxious about, like, I don't have a job. How am I going to keep my car? How am I going to keep my kids fed? How am I going to even get stuff for me, essentials that I need? So I'd be filling out applications every day. I filled out at least 10, at the most 60 in one night. I beat 6 different levels on Best Fiends, which is a pretty good game. I just kind of stopped playing it for a while because I'm trying to focus on my writing and stuff like that. I would start writings. I did music beats. I would do all sorts of stuff. My anxiety kept me up all night, and my depression kept me down all the time, and feeling like I couldn't move on from there. I couldn't do anything further than where I'm at currently. And it was hard for me. It was very hard for me. And it was to the point I actually got a job for a little bit, and I had a suicidal episode. Tried to take a bunch of pills and just sleep. And I'm not proud of that. not bragging about it. I'm not trying to tell people, oh, that's how you should do it. By no means. But in my head, I thought maybe my kids would be better off without me being here. And it took... Ooh. This is why I told you guys, you might need some tissues because I'm tearing up right now. But it took a lot of people to help me realize that's not it. That's not how you solve this issue. And it's just been hard for me, especially after dealing with... My mother got sick right after I had my son a couple years ago. And she got sick to the point where she had a seizure. And then while she was in the hospital, she had a stroke. So now my mother mentally isn't how my mother used to be. So in a way, I felt like I lost my mother again. Makes me tear up when I talk about this. Give me one moment. I'm sorry. I know, like, my mom's here. And when I say the words lost my mother again, I lost my grandmother 9 years ago or 8 years ago. And my grandmother raised me while my parents were working. My grandmother was there for me up until she got sick. And then I was there for her up until she passed away. If I was ever the closest to anyone in my life, that would be my grandmother. She taught me a lot. She showed me a lot. Ooh. I'm about to take a break real quick. I gotta collect myself. Give me one moment. I'm gonna play some music. Sorry, guys. I'm back. My grandmother taught me a lot of things. She showed me a lot of things. She's the reason why I learned how to be kind-hearted to people, even though they treat me like shit. After she left, after she passed, I went down this dark road. That's when my depression really kicked in. And I think that's probably when my anxiety kicked in too. Because I couldn't sleep at night. I refused to sleep at night. I would sleep during the day. I would sleep when I was drunk. Because I turned to alcohol and pills. Not the right pills. Because I felt this pain deep down inside. And I thought, if I took painkillers, it'd kill it. I would be good. I'd be fine. I just need to take one, drink some vodka, I'll be fine. And for like, say 4 months, 4 or 5 months, I literally didn't sleep at night. I slept during the daytime. I took a nap before work, and that's it. And you're probably wondering, what were you doing at night? I would go and travel to random stores and just look around, because it hurt for me to close my eyes. It hurt for me to be awake. It hurt all the time. And I eventually just start playing pool a lot and hanging out in a porn store. I had some adventures there. And, like, to a point, I'm not addicted to sex, but it doesn't shock me anymore. It doesn't really, yes, I get turned on by sex. Yes, sex is a turn on for me. It's something pleasurable. But, like, to see, like, going to hang out in a porn store or something like that, it's not, oh my God, and being taboo like some people will make it feel like. Because I did it for 6 years. I would go to a porn store every weekend and go play pool. Or whenever I just didn't want to go to sleep, and go play pool. Or I'd be up writing all night and getting my feelings out. Even though for a while I couldn't, I think it was a year, almost 2 years, I had a huge writer's block because all I wanted to write was to my grandmother and tell her how much I missed her and how I wish she was here. Whew. I am sorry, guys. I'm trying to keep it together, not cry and be a blubbery mess, because I'm actually recording at a library, so it wouldn't look so great. I'm sitting here crying and talking on the mic. But, yeah, I was dealing with all those issues. And then also with now, like, those issues came to surface after my mother got sick again. And not only dealing with that, dealing with issues with my son's father and everything else, and just craziness. Because I probably haven't admitted this yet out loud, but when I was pregnant with my son's father kind of did some mental stuff to me that made me feel like, well, damn, am I really that less than? And me feeling that way kind of probably cost me a pretty good relationship with someone special in my life. Because I couldn't open up to him. Because every time I opened up to someone, I ended up hurt at the end. I would listen to people tell me all the time how they won't leave me, but I'm sitting here by myself. So, last year I decided to talk to my doctor about my mental health. But I also had to go to my doctor because after having my son, I had an IUD put in. And it was affecting me to the point I couldn't, like, my back hurt so bad. I couldn't stand up for a long time. I couldn't walk for a long time. I was pretty much in bed a lot. So that didn't help my depression either, because I couldn't get out and really work how I wanted to. Because I prefer working hands-on, being in retail, all this other stuff. And I ended up getting a lot of sit-down jobs while I was, after I got fired from my job. Which I realize now, me getting fired from that job was a fucking blessing. Because I've probably been stuck there again for another 9.5 years at this, crappy company that treats people like shit. I'm not going to say it out loud. But it starts with a W. And you'll figure it out really quickly if you ever seen anything on YouTube, Facebook, or anything about this crappy ass company. They have low prices, but they also treat their associates like shit. And it's crazy. I got fired off of the fact that my manager threatened to take my job because I refused to be a good little girl and just step down and stay at that store. And I found another store who was going to take me at my position because I couldn't lose the money I was making at the time. And I went and reported a manager because that's what you're supposed to do. They're not allowed to threaten you. They can't do those things. And guess who got fired the next day because she decided to stand up for herself? This girl. Which, to be honest, it was a weight lifted the minute they said they were letting me go. I think that was the quickest I ever got out of that store. I handed them all their shit and said, I need someone to let me get my book bag and I'm out your hair. And that's really what I did. I do miss my friends there. I know I haven't went and visit lately, but I also really kind of needed that space away from that store because that company is a cesspool of shit. They don't treat people right at all. And that's at any level of management that works there. From store manager to district manager to district personnel manager, which that's a bullshit job. I may have to talk about that on my free thinking show. Yeah, about how I feel about that company as a whole. But I feel like there is a lot of good people who stuck there. Because where else are you going to make money that quick? Well, get to the level of how much you're making that quick. Not too many places. Like, I couldn't find, for the longest, a place that would even somewhat match what I made there when I left. I think I probably lost the opportunity to be assistant manager at a clothing store because the minute she asked me, because I asked, do they match pay? If not, then that's fine. I'll take whatever you want to give me. And she's like, well, yeah, how much did you get? And once I told her, oh, I don't know if we'll do that. Sorry. I got choked up there. But yeah. The minute I heard, oh, I don't think he'll do that, I already knew. Wasn't getting that job. I had my expectations way too high. And now since I am assistant manager where I'm somewhat, having to hire people and stuff like that, I deal with that. Like, I refuse to hire anyone who wants a double digit when I already know you're going to be disappointed. You're probably not going to work once you see your first check and you're like, what the fuck is this? Granted, I'm not allowed to tell you in an interview what you're going to make up front. If I don't interview you, and you may happen to ask me that question, I could possibly tell you that. But that's neither here or there. But I did go to get back into what I did to help myself with my anxiety and depression is I went to my doctor and I actually sat down and I did something that terrifies me. I opened up and told him what was wrong and everything that was wrong. And he prescribed me something. It's, as he says, it's pretty low on the spectrum, but it helps. It helps quite a fucking bit. Because even after I had my little suicide episode and he upgraded my dosage, both nighttime and daytime. Yes, I take nighttime and daytime pills or else I won't sleep at night. I've even tried, not taking my night pills and trying to sleep, and doesn't work at all. What happens is I'll end up sleeping for a little bit and then waking up, sleeping up for a little bit and waking up. And being anxious, my anxiety will wake me up. And after my little suicide spell, my daytime pills that they actually gave me, it actually hurt it in my head every time I took them. Like, I literally had a killer headache. I couldn't get around places. I couldn't do anything. And it made things worse. All I could eat was fries and toast and ginger ale. That was it. And no, I wasn't pregnant. It was literally my medication. Like, if I ate anything else, I would puke like that. It was like everything else disgusted me. I had to have fries or toast and ginger ale. That was it. So I lost weight. You figured you wouldn't with fries, but I did. Sorry, I had to grab a little something to drink. Normally I'll switch to music, but since we're going through this, I'm trying to go through this, or else I'm gonna keep pausing, and you guys might get irritated. But yeah. And then the other thing that's been helping me with my mental health is, especially after I lost that someone special in my life who I really thought was the one, but I couldn't let him in. And I fell in love because I couldn't let him in. It wasn't really on him. Yes, he had issues. Yes, he had faults. But everyone has faults and issues. At the end of the day, it was me. It was what was inside me. And I let him in as far as I wanted to let someone in. And that's it. And I do that with quite a bit of people. Hell, one of my closest friends, the only why she got as close to me as she did is because she fought me tooth and fucking nail. And she will fight me tooth and nail every fucking time. I can't hide shit from her. I could have went and robbed somebody. I can't hide that shit from her. Because she will fight me tooth and fucking nail until she figures out what is wrong. And then... But yeah, I started closing up again, and I didn't realize it at first, or I just let old patterns kick in way too easy, because I would just write about my feelings instead of telling that person how I felt. And I know that's not right. I know it's not right, because I've even been told by that same friend I was telling you about, I need to talk about my feelings. I don't like talking about my feelings. I like to talk about everything else but my feelings. I could probably even talk to you about Donald Trump before my fucking feelings. But yeah. I digress. So I've been working more on my poetry and writing and stuff like that. And I have some emotional poems and stuff like that that's been kind of helped me get through, because they tried to put me in therapy, but because, you know, the whole not working thing and being on Medicaid, I got whatever they gave me towards therapy, which was a chick sitting in a chair and talked to me like she's my homegirl, and she wasn't my homegirl. I didn't feel close to her. I would tell her whatever I felt like it. Pretty much like shit that happened during the week. Nothing deep or mental. I might have gotten into the situation with my depression, with my grandma and stuff like that, maybe once. And then, like, every time I knew I said something that might have triggered something, I ended up coming home with fucking paperwork. I know they're exercises, but I almost felt like a fucking kid in school who got in trouble. Like, oh, you want to get in trouble? Referral, 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 referral. Like, one day I left the damn doctor's office with half a stack of paperwork because of talking. I'm like, well, shit. Maybe I need to shut the fuck up. But I'm going to look towards another therapist to help me out with those issues, with talking to people and opening up more. I just didn't care for her methods of doing it. But, so, if you're going through any anxiety, depression, anything like that, and I know it's hard to go and tell somebody what's going on, but tell them. It will help. It will help you. It will help so many people around you. Because for so long, I thought I wasn't needed here anymore. Ooh, I feel it coming. For so long, I felt like I wasn't needed here. For so long, I felt like no one really cared about me. No one really gave a shit. It's probably because of the people I surrounded myself with. It's a lot of superficial people, or people who want to push their views and opinions on me. And I always felt like for the longest I had to fight to keep my sanity. And especially growing up and being a black woman, and what a lot of people say is true. A lot of black families growing up, especially if you had older parents, the minute you say there's something wrong with you mentally, no, there's not. You're just crazy. That's all. Don't worry about it. Oh, go lay down. Oh, go do that. Oh, you just need something to do. No. There was a moment, maybe 3 years after my grandma passed, 3 or 4, where I was honestly gonna Baker Act myself. I went to my mother about it because at the time I only had my daughter, and I was gonna sign my rights away so I could get Baker Acted, so I could see exactly what the fuck is wrong with me, because I couldn't sleep, and I knew full well I was an alcoholic when I could budget my check to have enough of alcohol for check to check, and I got paid every 2 weeks. So in my head, once I knew I could budget that shit and it worked out every time, plus paying my bills, I knew I was an alcoholic. Because how the fuck? No, that's not normal. That's not right. You shouldn't be doing stuff like that. But my mother told me when I came to her about that you don't need to get Baker Acted, you don't need therapy, you don't need medication, you don't need none of that shit. You just need to figure out something better. You just get over it. That's pretty much how it was, because it's almost like showing that you're weak when you show your feelings, and that's not always true. Correction, that's not true. Show your fucking feelings. Tell someone if you're hurting. Because there's way too many people who doesn't understand that this is actually a disease. This is something that affects people every fucking day. Not everyone can wake up and be okay. Not everyone can just, oh, that doesn't bother me, oh, whatever, da da da, and keep it moving. Some things hurt people differently, because they're either empaths or they're very emotional people, so it does affect them. Things affect people differently, just like people learn differently. People get affected by things very differently. Whew. I feel like getting this off my chest is a lot. Especially since I had to admit I have been not only depressed and having anxiety issues, but I also was suicidal. And the craziest thing is the only time I would have actually genuinely been alright with dying would have been when I was giving birth to both my kids, because I actually hemorrhaged twice. I hemorrhaged bad for my daughter, rolled my eyes, almost gone, losing blood. And then with my son, I was starting to hemorrhage when he first came out because he wasn't breathing. So I started freaking out, and once again, almost gone. But I realized if I wasn't here, who was going to teach these kids? How's my daughter going to know about Whitney Houston or any music from back then, or how to do her hair right? Who's going to teach my son about Batman, Spider-Man, or how to dance? I realized that if no one else needs me, I know they need me. So it's okay. And I'm just going through life, working through sorry. And yes, if you're trying to figure out, is she crying? Yes, I'm tearing up right now. But I don't want to pause, get myself back together. Just want to finish. Because this is actually the longest podcast I probably have ever done. But I wanted to get all this out. I didn't want to just strain it out in multiple parts or nothing like that. Get it all out. But, I had to realize that my kids need me. That there are people that's beyond my kids that need me, that love me, that care about me. I just have to let those people in. Which it's still a work in progress for that. But one day I'll get it all together. One hell of a mess of a person. But I am also working on new stuff for the new year that's going to help, like with mental health and stuff like that. But I also want to start a series on Instagram TV where I just do mental health checks, talk about my day, and maybe give you guys some type of inspiration that'll help you. And as I'm going to end this podcast here, but as I'm ending it, I'm going to tell everybody, like, if you listen to all my channels, awesome. If not, you just listen to this, that's awesome too. But I just wanted to let you guys know I'm beyond my goal this year for my podcast. And over 11,000 people who follow me. So I appreciate all of you guys, and I love all you guys. You guys actually helped me push me back onto the podcasting horse again, especially podcasting on this channel. I've been like kind of because I didn't want to admit what was wrong with me. And I also, if you listen to my updates, I kind of blabbed it out already, and I put in my free thinking one also that after this year, I will not be posting on YouTube anymore. I will continue my podcasts, and I will continue posting on Instagram and Twitter. And I want you guys, I have over 11,000 people follow me on here. It'd be awesome, which this is my Christmas wish. My one Christmas wish, if you guys can help me out, is follow me on Instagram and Twitter at PoetSoul30. I'm gonna put the name down at the bottom in the link, well, in the description, so you guys can follow me. I'd greatly appreciate it, and I love you guys so much. And I'm sorry to be a blubbering mess, and I will try to post more on here, and maybe do mental health checks, like things that's helping me get through my day and get through my year a little bit better. But with that being said, I hope you guys have a great day, and I hope this helps somebody. And if you need help, ask for it. Even if you have to email me or something, ask for help. Please, I don't want to see someone else die because they couldn't take it anymore. This world is shit, but we need people to make it a better place. And with that being said, I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.